recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Gotmark76 this week, 1990.
He's gonna take off that mask! It's the Angel of Death!
It's the Angel of Death!
A former training partner of Sting when Sting was starting out in this business, and the Black Scorpion having words with the Angel of Death. The Angel of Death is the first henchman, Bill! Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to another exciting edition of Gotmark76 this week, 1990. As you saw at the top of the program, the Angel of Death was revealed as the Black Scorpion's first henchman. And the Angel of Death is in action right now as he takes on Agent Steel. The Angel of Death, a former training partner of Sting when Sting was just beginning in the business. So the Black Scorpion went to Sting's deep past as the Angel of Death takes down Agent Steel. We will have a word with the Angel of Death at the conclusion of this match, win or lose. As Agent Steel tries to make a comeback, it was a historic night of wrestling last week at the Clash of the Champions. We thank you for tuning in and watching the program. A new World Television Champion, but not without controversy, is one Barry Windham. We will have an update on that situation later on in today's show as well, regarding the controversy that happened during that match. Stan the Lariat Hansen defeated Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. He is the new #1 contender to the U.S. heavyweight title. And he made his presence felt at the Clash of the Champions by attacking Lex Luger after Luger successfully defended the title against Ric Flair. As Angel of Death, and a beautiful suplex pile driver by the Angel of Death, hooks the leg. I think this match is over. 1, 2, and 3. And your winner, the Angel of Death, here on World Championship Wrestling. I'm going to try and get a word with the Angel of Death, ask him some questions. I mean, he has to know who the Black Scorpion is. And I want to ask him what he had against Sting and why he felt the need to hide his identity and not just challenge Sting outright. But your winner in our opening program, the Angel of Death. I'll be right back with a word from the Angel of Death. Welcome back, fans, and there you hear from the Angel of Death, the first henchman. He didn't seem too forthcoming with giving up the identity of the Black, if he knows who it is. I don't know if he's to be believed or not, but we didn't get any information out of him other than the fact that the Black Scorpion knew his phone number to call him and knew his address to mail him the outfit that he wore last week. So I don't know, fans, and I'm being told we will hear from the Black Scorpion later on in the program. Maybe he'll give instructions on when Sting will meet the second henchman. As Sid Vicious in the ring, working over Bob Cook. Sid Vicious has demanded a world title opportunity, and he has gone to the World Championship Committee demanding a match. We do not know if he'll be granted one or not, but he has Bob Cook up for a powerbomb and slams him down to the mat. And the referee counts, but you can count to 30. And your winner here is Sid Vicious as he continues his path of destruction. Fans, the World TV title had a little bit of controversy last week, and we are going to come back and go over a highlight from last week at Clash of the Champions, as well as see Barry Windham in action. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back, fans. We are watching the end of the World TV title match last week at Clash of the Champions, where Barry Windham defeated Brian Pillman for the World TV title. And as you can see in this still shot, the clock had run down to 0 seconds left before the referee's hand came down for the count of 3. Now, the night of the Clash of the Champions, the referee's decision stood. He awarded the World TV title to Barry Windham. This past week, the NWA Championship Committee had chance to review the footage, and they have deemed a rematch between Barry Windham and Brian Pillman for next week here on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. Now, should this 15-minute match end in a draw, which was almost the case last week at the Clash of the Champions, then a winner will be determined by 3 ringside judges. That is correct. We will be taking it to judges. Those judges will be former World Television Champion Ivan Koloff. The second judge will be former World Television Champion Jimmy Valiant. And the third judge will be Magnum TA. So next week we will determine the rightful World Television Champion. That match will either end within 15 minutes or will go to the judges. Don't go away, fans. Barry Windham will be in next as he takes on Wildfire Tommy Rich. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. Welcome back to World Championship Wrestling as Barry Windham is in the ring against Wildfire Tommy Rich. And this match is a tale of a high and a low. Last week, Barry Windham ended his night at Clash of the Champions on the high when he defeated Brian Pillman for the World TV title, or so we thought. And Tommy Rich, of course, ended up getting attacked by his tag team partner that evening, Captain Mike Rotunda, as they were defeated in short order by the Nasty Boys. And there was a little bit of a communication breakdown. Tommy Rich had reached out to Captain Mike Rotunda to be his tag team partner when the Nasty Boys took out the Z-Man a couple weeks ago. Well, needless to say, the Nasty Boys made very short work, and Captain Mike Rotunda ended up being pinned in that contest. Tommy Rich didn't even get in the match officially, and he could not break up the pinfall in time, and Captain Mike took offense to that, basically saying, I helped you, and you weren't even there. And Captain Mike Rotunda attacked Tommy Rich, and I am sure we have not heard the end of that, as Tommy Rich is not somebody who would take that lying down. Barry Windham has an abdominal stretch locked in on Tommy Rich, the former World Heavyweight Champion, as Rich gets his way and hip tosses Windham out of it. So next week here, Barry Windham will look to defeat Brian Pillman again for the World TV title. It was close. That time limit expired. The referee's hand was coming down, and I've heard rumblings from people who were in attendance at that meeting that Barry Windham should be the World TV Champion, that the referee's count, as he was on cover there, that the referee's count started before the time ran out, and that the referee's cadence should have allowed the pinfall to stay and be maintained. But the NWA Championship Committee did review. They spoke on that this past week. And we will settle it next week with a 15-minute time limit, or it will go to judges. And how about that? World Championship Wrestling reaching out to 2 former World TV champions in the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff and the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant, and of course, NWA legend Magnum TA. So it's going to be great to see them here next week as Tommy Rich with an advantage here over Barry Windham. And Rich with a big right hand eyeing up Windham for another right hand, and down goes Windham. And Windham may not make it to next week if Tommy Rich takes his anger from Captain Mike Rotunda out on Windham as Rich goes for the cover. 1, 2, and no! A kick out by Windham. Windham almost got pinned there. But Tommy Rich, man, he's showing a bit of fire here. Obviously, he's not happy with the way things turned out for him last week. But Windham making a comeback, charges clothesline, takes down Tommy Rich. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg, referee counts 1, and the kick out at 1 by Wildfire. We will be seeing in our main event tonight Nature Boy Ric Flair as he will take on the Candyman, Brad Armstrong, in our main event. Ric Flair, he had a Clash of the Champions worth remembering as Windham has a figure 4 leg lock locked in on Tommy Rich. Will Tommy Rich be able to escape? He fires his way out of it and nails Windham with a big right hand. Flair got outsmarted by the total package last week at the Clash. And at the conclusion of that match, the new #1 contender, Stan Hansen, attacked Luger and Flair. As Tommy Rich now, what's he doing? He's going up top. This is not something we see Tommy Rich do very often. He has Windham lined up. Windham getting back to his feet. Rich setting up Windham. He leaps and misses an elbow. Windham pushes him aside. Runs, charges, and there it is. The lariat takes down Tommy Rich. Windham hooks a leg. Referee counts, and Windham wins the match. Barry Windham pinned Tommy Rich with that lariat as he caught Rich off guard when Rich missed the elbow, or forearm, I should say, from the top rope. Here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. It will be Barry Windham taking on Flying Brian next week. The winner will be the World TV Champion. And again, I'm excited to announce that if that match does not end within the 15-minute time limit, then it will go to 3 judges at ringside: Ivan Koloff, Jimmy Valiant, and Magnum TA. Your winner here, and has a slight advantage that I would imagine next week, coming off of a victory over a former World Heavyweight Champion at that. But your winner in this matchup, Barry Windham. Fans, don't go away. We have much more World Championship Wrestling, including our big main event. But before we get there, we have the latest video courtesy of the Black Scorpion. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick timeout.
Congratulations, Sting. You made it past the first of my 3 henchmen. Were you surprised that I went back to your past? Were you surprised that I brought the Angel of Death to face you as my first henchman? He trained with you, Sting, at Power Team USA. I'm sure you remember that. And during this match, the Angel of Death almost pinned you. Sting, he was the first of 3 tests that I'm sending your way. But at the Clash of the Champions, I went to your past to get somebody that you trained with. The next challenge, henchman number 2, will also be somebody from your past. And if you get by him, I may just have to reveal who I am. Or not. Sting, are you having fun yet? Are you ready to face my second of 3 henchmen? Well, guess what, Sting? You won't have to wait long. September 28th, Philadelphia Civic Center. My second henchman will be there.
How about that, fans? The Black Scorpion saying that in 2 weeks' time, live at the Philadelphia Civic Center, the second henchman will face off against Sting. You heard it here first, and the Black Scorpion not one to shy away from making a statement. Sting, of course, not here tonight. We will look to get his reaction next week here on Gotmark76 This Week 1990. But in the ring right now, Nature Boy Ric Flair taking on Brad Armstrong. And Ric Flair, he challenged Lex Luger for the U.S. title last week and came up short as the total package outsmarted Flair, pinning him with an inside cradle as Brad Armstrong clotheslines Flair over the top rope. At the conclusion of the match, the number one contender to the U.S. title, Stan Hansen, attacked both Lex Luger and Ric Flair. Now, Stan Hansen went on to beat Lex Luger with a steel chair while Flair rolled to the outside, but one has to wonder if there's some unfinished business on the part of Ric Flair for Stan Hansen, as Flair and Armstrong on the outside, a big chop by the Nature Boy. But Armstrong fighting back with an elbow, a kick to the shin. The referee's counts up to 6, and Armstrong throws Flair into the stairs. Armstrong slides back in the ring. Is Armstrong going to win this match by countout? But no, Armstrong breaks up the count. Armstrong was going after Flair, broke up the count, and walks right into another chop by the Nature Boy. Down goes Armstrong, Flair in control. The next big major event here in World Championship Wrestling will be Halloween Havoc on October 26th. And that card is starting to shape up. And who knows where Ric Flair will be on the card, if he is on the card. Already signed for that big Halloween Havoc event. Lex Luger will defend the U.S. title against Stan Hansen. And Ric Flair's allies in the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, will get a World Tag Team title match against Doom. So some matches already being signed for that big pay-per-view event at the end of October as Brad Armstrong back in control. What a maneuver by Armstrong, working on the legs of Nature Boy, who powders out to the floor, and Armstrong follows him, and these two men going at it on the floor. Flair with a bunch of chops and a punch to the midsection has... Oh, and throws Armstrong into the steps again. And Flair slides into the ring. Flair will take a count-out victory. That's Flair working over Brad Armstrong in the ring. Oh, and a stomp to the face, and that'll slow down Brad Armstrong. Ooh, and Armstrong with a comeback, slams his head into Flair's face, and now Armstrong with a big right hand, throws Flair into the turnbuckle. Runs, charges, oh, and Flair moves out of the way. But Armstrong still in control with a snapmare takeover, down goes Flair. And now Armstrong working the arm of the Nature Boy. And what a huge upset victory this would be for Brad Armstrong if he can get by the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And Flair again clotheslines Armstrong up and over the top rope into the floor. And the referee has begun a count. And wait, keep your eye on Flair. What's he doing? He just took off that top turnbuckle. That top turnbuckle is now exposed. And Flair with a big chop stuns Brad Armstrong. And he throws Armstrong into the exposed turnbuckle, and down goes Armstrong. That could be it. If Flair goes for the cover, he may win this match. And another chop by Flair, third chop, takes down Armstrong. Flair lining up Armstrong for that patented knee drop, and there it is. Across the forehead of Brad Armstrong. Goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. No! Armstrong kicks out. And Flair can't believe it. Armstrong throwing some heart. And throwing again into the exposed turnbuckle. That's twice now. Flair resorting to dirty tactics, but Armstrong will not go away easily. And now Armstrong somehow in control. Has Flair. Picks him up on his shoulder, puts Flair up on the top rope. What does Armstrong have in mind here? Climbing up top, could it be? Oh my gosh, it looks like a gun runs, suplex off the top rope. Armstrong has Flair, goes for the cover, huge upset, 1, 2, and no, Flair kicks out. What an upset that would have been if Armstrong could have gotten a 3 count, but Armstrong wisely going back to work on the Nature Boy. But Flair sweeping the leg and Armstrong coming back. What a back and forth match this is, and Flair rolls out to the outside and Armstrong's gonna follow him. And these two men have spent almost as much time on the outside as they have on the inside during this match. Flair throws Armstrong back into the ring. Flair up on the top rope. Has Armstrong lined up in a double axe handle down across the forehead. Flair goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out of 2 by Armstrong. When a kick blocked by Armstrong, and Armstrong takes over Flair by the leg. Armstrong now going to work. Flair reverses it with a fireman's carry takeover. And a big chop by Flair stuns Armstrong. And down goes Armstrong after a series of forearms to the lower back. Flair setting him up another patented knee drop across the forehead. That is usually the precursor to the figure 4 leg lock, but Flair not going for it, and again throws Armstrong into that exposed turnbuckle. Flair resorting to dirty tactics to try to put away Brad Armstrong, and here it comes. The figure 4 leg lock locked in. Can Armstrong escape? Armstrong has put up a valiant fight, but I think this match is about to come to an end. Flair really sinking it in. Armstrong trying to get out. And Armstrong with a series of rights breaks up the maneuver. Armstrong escapes. And Armstrong with a series of knees and a big punch takes down Flair. Armstrong making a comeback. Drags Flair to the center of the ring. He goes for the cover. This would be a huge upset. 1, 2, and no, Flair kicks out. What a back and forth contest this has been. A main event worthy of World Championship Wrestling, as Flair with a series of elbows to the back of the head throws Armstrong into the ropes. Up and over the top goes Armstrong. And now Flair hip tosses the Candyman back into the ring. Goes for the cover. Referee was out of position. 1, 2, and again a kick out by Armstrong. The fans here have risen. Flair misses a knee. Armstrong with a forearm to the back. Takes down Flair, and Armstrong now going for the figure 4. He has it locked in. Armstrong with Ric Flair's own maneuver on him. Will Flair submit? Armstrong has the figure 4 leg lock locked in the middle of the ring. And Flair trying to turn it over, and does. Now putting the pressure on the legs of Brad Armstrong. But both men slow to get up, and a big shoulder block by Flair takes down Armstrong. Goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, 2, and a kick out of 2. Armstrong is still alive in this contest. A back and forth match. As Flair lines him up, throws Armstrong again for the 4th time into that exposed turnbuckle. The referee hasn't seen it yet. But Armstrong not giving up. A high knee lift takes down Flair. And now Armstrong going. Oh, I think Armstrong was going for a figure four, blocked by Flair, close on over the top rope. And Armstrong out to the floor. Flair now following Armstrong out. And again, these two men on the outside, they have spent a lot of time on the outside, and Flair with a Boston Crab on Brad Armstrong on the outside. The referee's counting. Flair cannot win this match by a submission on the outside floor. This is merely to work the back of Brad Armstrong. And the referees counts up to 4. And a big clothesline by Flair takes down Armstrong again. And the referee finally addressing the turnbuckle situation as Flair woos to the crowd. And Flair, it looked like Flair attacked the referee. Oh, and he went to knee Armstrong and took down the referee. The referee's down. Goes for the cover, but Armstrong kicks out. The referee is down and Flair's gone to the outside. And Flair has what is a baseball bat. Flair has a baseball bat and nails Brad Armstrong multiple times with a baseball bat. The referee is down. Flair hides the evidence. Setting up Armstrong. The referee getting back to his feet. Flair takes down Armstrong. Going for the figure four leg lock. And it's locked in. After several shots to the back with a baseball bat. Armstrong trying to fight out of it, but a valiant effort will come to an end here. But wait, Armstrong trying to fight out of it. Are you kidding me? Armstrong trying to turn it over. And he does! What a comeback from Brad Armstrong. Still in this match. And Flair with a chop. Stuns Armstrong again. What does Flair have to do to put Brad Armstrong away? A series of chops by Flair. Armstrong coming back with an elbow. Armstrong now throws Flair up and over the top. How is Armstrong still standing? Belly to belly, back into the ring goes Flair. Flair with a forearm to the back. Inside cradle has Armstrong pinned. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. No! Armstrong kicked out. Don't ask me how, but he did. A former 6-time, went into the turnbuckle again, a 7th time. And down goes Armstrong. Flair is a 6-time former World Heavyweight Champion, and he has resorted to a baseball bat, exposed turnbuckles, and not once but twice Armstrong has escaped a figure four leg lock. What does he have to do to put away Brad Armstrong? This is a showing of a lifetime for the Candyman. And he takes down Flair again. Hooks the leg, goes for the cover. 1, 2, and no! Flair kicks out. What a match. What a showcase for Brad Armstrong. And he is giving something for the championship committee to look at, because he has shown that he can stand in the ring with the best in the world, and that is Nature Boy Ric Flair. And I think win, lose, or draw, Brad Armstrong is making some impressions tonight. Flair throws Armstrong into the ropes, and a big elbow takes Armstrong down. And this is where the experience and the fortitude of Ric Flair lining him up again for that patented knee drop, and again, and I think that one busted open Armstrong. Oh yes, Armstrong is busted open. Blood going down his forehead, but kicks Flair away. Armstrong still trying to come back. This heart of the youngster here. Oh, and look at that forehead of Armstrong. It is full of blood. That knee across the head that time busted open Brad Armstrong, to the point that I think it's affecting Armstrong's vision. Flair throws Armstrong again into the turnbuckle. Conveniently, the turnbuckle's put back on. But Armstrong fighting back. Oh, and walked into an elbow that time. Flair with an inside cradle. Has Armstrong pinned. 1, 2, and 3. What a match this was, a hard-fought victory for Nature Boy Ric Flair. But the story here is that Brad Armstrong took everything Ric Flair had and then some and made this a very competitive match. I mean, Flair threw Armstrong into an exposed turnbuckle, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times, had a baseball bat, and nailed him with a baseball bat while the referee was down, and Brad Armstrong still came back. What an impressive showing, even though he comes up short by defeating the former world champion Ric Flair. Fans, we thank you so much for joining us here on World Championship Wrestling. Next week, the big TV title main event. A new champion will be crowned with 3 judges and the return of Magnum TA. Fans, we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.